Now at 10, a jury convicts a Southwest Missouri man for a fatal crash. We'll have details. Plus, the Oklahoma Broadband Office stops by Miami to discuss the community's internet needs. And from team manager to walk-on, the story of how a former Columbus Titan earned his spot in the Big 12. Also, we'll take a trip to Nevada, Missouri to see how they're preparing for the 59th annual Bushwhacker Days.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
A jury convicts a Carthage man for murder in a 2021 fatal DWI crash in Joplin. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. Kenton Cowgill is guilty on all 4 counts of second-degree murder, DWI resulting in death, felony resisting arrest by fleeing, and drug trafficking. Authorities say he was found with more than 90 grams of meth. Authorities say in 2021, Cowgill was passed out in his car, blocking a driveway. When police woke him up, they say he sped away, leading them on a chase. It ended in a fatal crash involving 2 other cars. The driver of one of those cars was 66-year-old Robert McDermott, a retired Missouri Southern professor. McDermott died from injuries in that crash. You can learn more about the case on KOAMnewsnow.com and on our app. Pittsburgh mourns the death of a teenager as authorities released the name of the man who was found unresponsive in the Pittsburgh YMCA pool yesterday. That man is 19-year-old Caden Barber. Caden graduated from Pittsburgh High School in 2022. During his time at PHS, Caden was a standout athlete, excelling on both the football field and on the wrestling mat. Emergency responders were called to the Y around 7:50 a.m. That's where they found Caden unresponsive in the pool. He was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. His family says he'd been doing water training in preparation for going to the Navy. While police do not suspect foul play, Caden's death is still under investigation. A celebration of life for Caden has been announced by his family. It's going to be on Tuesday at Memorial Auditorium in Pittsburgh at 2 p.m. An infant died yesterday evening after a car rear-ended an Amish horse-drawn buggy just outside of Seymour, Missouri. The parents, Sammy and Barbara Schwartz, were also thrown out of the buggy and have moderate injuries. Signs warn drivers to be cautious because buggies are numerous in that town. Seymour is home to a large Amish population. Missouri Highway Patrol and a Seymour resident both say drivers need to share the road so tragedies like this don't happen again.
Infants and all kinds of ages in those little buggies, and they're not wearing seatbelts like we are. We are a little bit more safe than they are, but so we need to be more aware of our surroundings and share the streets and follow. I mean, there's signs out in the roads that there's buggies, to watch out, share the road. And I don't think we're listening to that. We're not paying attention. And they're at the end of the day, they're human beings. They're people.
Missouri Highway Patrol says there is currently no rule or law saying the Amish need a safety device for children in horse-drawn buggies. State troopers are still investigating that crash. Much of our nation dealing with a bit of a haze out there. Meteorologist Sam Lane.
All right, thank you very much, Dow. Yeah, the haze has been really thick in some places, especially on the East Coast, where it has dramatically altered the sunsets, turning it bright orange and red. The air quality has just been absolutely horrible for the northeastern United States because of the smoke coming down from the large wildfires in southern Canada. Even in our local area, we're starting to be impacted a little bit. In fact, an ozone alert is in effect for the Tulsa metro area with hazardous and very unhealthy air. Here in our area, we're looking at unhealthy for sensitive folks, and that's people with asthma and upper respiratory issues and problems. So if you're wheezing a little bit, that's probably why. But hopefully, as we head over the next few days, we're going to see rain chances and help with that smoke situation. Temperatures tonight are going to drop through the 70s to about 64 by tomorrow morning. But notice by 10 o'clock, we'll already be up to 80 degrees with scattered showers and storms possible. And looking down the lane, we have very warm afternoons, but increasing rain chances along with a cold front on Sunday. And what's this about severe weather on Tuesday? Well, I'll tell you all about that in just a little bit.
See you soon. The Oklahoma Broadband Office is on a tour across the state to meet with local officials and community members about their high-speed internet priorities. And today they stopped by Miami for a meeting at the Coleman Theater. Officials with the office discussed the benefits, increased access, adoption, and widespread use of high-speed internet can bring to a community like Miami.
video calling, be it Zoom, Teams, things like that. At a 25.3 speed, you're going to get pixelated viewpoints. You're not going to see consistent video monitoring. The voices are going to sound funny. With 120 access, you're going to see a much better resolution. You're going to see a much better, more consistent picture.
Broadband is such an important thing for our communities, and since I'm an advocate for the community, I wanted to make sure I was here to see what was discussed.
Having us this evening, we're really excited to hear.
Broadband Office expects to hand out more than $1 billion in grants across the state by 2028 to improve broadband infrastructure and accessibility. A new natural gas provider comes to Oronogo, Missouri this month. The city's utilities will transition to Spire on June 22nd. Current natural gas customers will continue to receive service at their homes and businesses with no interruption during the transition, they say. Governor Parson signed a bill today in Missouri prohibiting educational institutions from allowing biological male students from participating on sports teams designated for biological females. The law applies to elementary, secondary, and post-secondary education institutions. That includes private schools, public schools, charter schools, and colleges and universities. Now that the debt ceiling has passed, college students might need to start making preparations for student loan repayment. A Missouri Southern Financial Aid advisor points out the university provides help to ease student woes.
They can call, email, and we will respond. I am here available for borrowers if they have difficulty trying to figure out who their loan servicer is. I can look that up for them. I can give them the contact information and their website so that then they can successfully contact their servicer.
Student loan repayment could begin 60 days after the Supreme Court makes its decision on the Biden-Harris forgiveness plan. Students are encouraged to get in contact with their loan servicer and figure out a plan. The 2023 Missouri Preservation Conference is underway in Joplin. One speaker, Ricky Smith, talked about her progress in restoring local cemeteries. Jasper County isn't the only county with decaying cemeteries. Missouri has dozens of abandoned cemeteries and no tax for maintenance. Smith shares why she and some volunteers have been restoring cemeteries for a while now.
And if we don't preserve them, we will lose them. Even some common practices from 20 or 30 years ago, like using chalk to make rubbings or using pencils to make rubbings of stones, those things can actually damage the headstones and make them less readable to us today.
The 2023 Missouri Preservation Conference is going to continue through Friday. Jacob here now with sports. A big week for Pitt State women's basketball.
The Gorillas will host more than 150 teams for their annual high school team camp the next 2 weeks. We're going to talk about that. And a former Columbus Titan goes from team manager to walk-on player. KU men's basketball. That story and more next. Well, the Joplin Outlaws are off to a 2-0 start to their summer schedule. They beat Des Moines and St. Joe in their first 2 home games of the season. Tonight, the Outlaws on the road for the first time, facing the Sedalia Bombers. Joplin wins again this time. It's 5-2. Big night for Landon Meyer. He goes 2 for 4 with a double, a home run, and 4 RBIs. Former Columbus High School standout Patrick Cassidy has spent the last 2 years as a manager for the KU men's basketball team. Now, though, the former Titan has earned a chance to suit up for one of the best programs in the country, going from a team manager to a walk-on player in his final year in Lawrence.
Just a few years ago, Patrick Cassidy was a multi-sport standout for the Columbus Titans.
I never in a million years would have dreamed this. You know, it wasn't even a thought that this could even be possible whenever I was at Columbus.
After high school, Cassidy went to KU to study finance. He spent the last 2 years as a manager for the men's basketball team, getting a chance to be on the floor with some of the best players in the country.
My first year, I was kind of seeing glimpses of it, and then my second year, so last year, I was doing pretty good, and I was like, this is surprising, you know? Like I wasn't supposed to be doing what I was doing, and I was able to score the ball, and then I could defend a little bit too, and I was like, maybe I can keep up a little bit with these guys.
Then came a meeting with KU head coach Bill Self last month when Cassidy learned that he would have the chance to go from manager to a walk-on player for the Jayhawks.
He just congratulated me and said I deserved it, and it was surreal being in his office and getting that opportunity to talk to him like that. It was crazy. It was definitely a good feeling walking out of that office, and especially telling my parents because they were so proud of me, and it meant everything.
Cassidy was an all-conference and all-state player for the Titans, leaving Columbus with more than 1,000 career points. He'll wear a different jersey for the first time since, but he's still playing for the same people who were behind him years ago in southeast Kansas.
I just want to let the town of Columbus, the community of Columbus, know that no matter what I'm doing, always feel free to reach out. Always feel free to hit me up because I'm doing it for them. I'm doing it for my family. I'm doing it for Columbus. As long as I'm making my community and my family proud, that's really all I'm here to do. I hope my story can inspire other managers and other people that really feel like they're either too small, not good enough, just to keep working. I've already had a couple people reach out and saying like, hey, your story's inspired me to, keep pursuing my love for the game and trying to play in college. So really that's what I want to use myself for, is to show that like no matter what you do, as long as you work hard, as long as you put your head down, you grind, then anything's possible.
Now, Cassidy will play just one season for Kansas. He plans to graduate with his bachelor's degree in finance next May before pursuing his master's degree. Pittsburgh State women's basketball begins the first session of its high school team camp today. Our very own John Dales has more on the experience PSU is giving teams from across the 4 states and beyond.
Starting today, 66 girls high school basketball teams from Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Nebraska come to Pittsburgh to compete against each other. And Pitt State women's basketball head coach Amanda David is the one in charge of coordinating it all.
And it's a lot of fun to organize. Honestly, the logistics of it, there's a lot to it to make it run smooth so that when we get here we can just kind of enjoy watching the games, mingle with the coaches. But it's great for the community. It's great for our women's basketball program to have all these kids here.
One of the local players competing is Girard High School senior Peyton Brooks, who says this camp is always a fun part of the summer.
It's been a fun 4 years coming here. I always look forward to it. It's fun to play like bigger schools, bigger teams that we don't normally get to play. When we played at Pitt State, we played at Frontenac, we played at the middle school. It just makes us better. Whether we win or lose, it still pushes us, makes us play better.
The camp is also beneficial to the Pitt State players, who help keep score, scrimmage in front of the campers, and interact with some of their new teammates.
It's nice because we get our freshmen up here. We kind of get the team acclimated to each other in the summer, which is huge for us and has paid off during the season. I think that's a big part of our team camp. I think we do a lot of recruiting from it. We get a bunch of good, talented girls from all over a couple different states, and so we get to look at them here.
And that added aspect of recruiting makes this worthwhile for everyone involved.
There's teams that we know of the kids coming in, and then there's some teams that we get surprised and, oh man, we really like that kid. And so, like I said, it's a great way to show them around our campus, let them see what we have to offer here.
The first session of the camp continues tomorrow, then wraps up on Friday. John Dales, KOAM TV.
Coach David says she expects 89 more schools to participate in the camp's second session next week. So between the 2 weeks, more than 150 high school teams in the Pittsburgh area.
Boy, a big influence and an awful lot of young athletes. We'll be right back.
Well, it was another very warm day across the 4 states with temperatures getting close to that 90-degree mark. A large part of the area right now this evening in Seneca, Missouri at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Things are looking pretty nice. You can see the Venus in the western sky this evening. Here in Joplin, you can see it right there. Temperature is 75 degrees, calm wind, dew point is 62. So it's feeling a little bit muggy out there. 64% on the humidity, and the pressure is currently steady. Temperature is not too bad, generally in the mid-70s. Wall to wall, 75 in Yates Center, pick out your hometown, 72 in Iola, a little bit cooler over in Stockton where they're also 72 degrees, 73 down in Monette, and for our friends in Grove, they're currently sitting at 76. Now the drought tracker map is going to be updated tomorrow, but we've been talking a lot about this because the drought has just been increasingly getting worse, especially in southwestern Missouri with the dry conditions starting to make its presence known again. But it's been especially bad in Chautauqua and Elk counties where it's exceptional drought still ongoing, about 10 to 12 inches below normal where they would be this time of year. Rain chances, though, are going to be increasing, especially tomorrow, so that's good news, as we're going to hopefully put a little bit of dent in the drought over the coming days. In fact, by this weekend, by the end of the weekend, we could see rainfall amounts around 1.5 inches across a large part of the area, approaching 2 inches in some isolated spots. So hopefully we will get some rain in here to help wash not only the smoke and pollen out of the atmosphere, but also help with that drought situation. Temperatures this evening are very mild, and as well, temperatures are going to be dropping through the 70s into the 60s, and by tomorrow morning, we'll see partly cloudy skies with lows in the mid-60s across the area. Notice a chance of showers well off towards the north and east. That's along a boundary that's going to be sneaking its way into our area as we go in through the weekend. But as we go into Thursday afternoon, we're going to see temperatures again in the mid to upper 80s, approaching 90 in some locations. And notice scattered showers and storms here and there across the area. Not everybody's going to get wet, but at least some folks will. And then as we go into Friday morning, a better chance of showers and storms moving through the metro area with lows in the 60s. And then on Friday afternoon, again, warm with scattered showers and storms here and there in the afternoon with highs in the mid 80s as we go through the afternoon hours. And then as we go into Friday night into Saturday morning, we're expecting a complex to move across southern Kansas and northeastern Oklahoma with lows in the mid 60s. And then as we start Saturday afternoon, we'll again see those scattered showers and storms in our forecast as we go into the weekend. Again on Sunday, scattered storms. But notice as we go into Monday, cooler behind a cold front, a high of only 81. But then as we go into Tuesday, Dow, we have the chance of thunderstorms coming back, and some of those storms on Tuesday could be severe, and we're going to have to keep a close eye on that very closely. And then Wednesday, 88, and then I don't think you want to look at the rest of this forecast because we're going to get summer-like around here with highs in the low to mid 90s. Can you believe it?
I can believe it. I would prefer it not be true, but yeah, absolutely, I believe it.
I wish I had better news.
Yeah, at least we'll be getting some showers before
Absolutely.
that. Thanks, Sam. Still ahead, preparations underway for the 59th annual Bushwhacker Days. Plus, Commerce Days is officially underway in Northeast Oklahoma. We're going to look at how the community is going out and having some fun. The annual Vernon County Festival and Bushwhacker Days are coming up in Nevada. KOAM's Yana Hautala talked about the events with the Nevada Chamber of Commerce and Tourism officials.
Nevada residents are preparing their booths for the 59th annual Bushwhacker Days and Vernon County Festival.
It's just a community getting together and having fun. You know, so many communities, they work together to overcome the struggles that smaller communities have, but we sit back for a weekend and we enjoy it. We enjoy a weekend, we have great music, we come together as a community to support others and just have fun together. One big, huge, happy family.
The name for the festival dates back to the Civil War.
When the Kansas and Missouri border wars were happening, and that's kind of where the name comes from. It's not anything really having to do with that anymore. It's a good, fun time for everybody to get together. This is the 59th year of it, and so to change the name would kind of just lose the excitement of what it is.
Sloniker says, besides vendors, booths, music, and the carnival, an old tradition they still hold is a royalty pageant competition.
They've actually gone through interview process and been questioned on some of the history of the Bushwhacker Days or of the Civil War era and that kind of thing. And they will also be wearing period clothing from that time.
Interim Tourism Director Gaiman says 3 nights of free concerts drives people out of town to the area and vendors as well.
The majority of our vendors come from out of town. From Oklahoma, Arkansas, we have some from Tennessee, some from Kansas, so yeah, we have a wide variety of that.
In Nevada, Yana Hautala, KOAM News.
That festival begins tomorrow and runs through Saturday. Folks in Commerce, Oklahoma came out this evening for the first day of Commerce Days. This is the 12th year of that event. There was live music, arts and crafts, vendors, even a carnival.
What keeps me coming is, you know, something to do, something to keep us entertained, all the friends. We got like rides, we got things after, you know, all the food, I'd say the food's good. The fried Oreos, my favorite.
That ought to be, that sounds pretty good. The fun's going to continue tomorrow and Friday from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. Then on Saturday, a parade's going to be held at 9 in the morning with events lasting past midnight. Final check of the weather and goodbye to a friend up next. We don't like the heat, and yeah, we have some heat, and it's going to get worse before too long. But the good news is there's at least some chances for rain,
That's
increasing
right.
chances in the coming days.
We do have increasing chances of rain as we head into the next few days. Maybe some severe storms on Tuesday, but then it starts to get hot after that next week.
Yeah, by hot 90 plus.
Yeah.
Countdown is at 1, and by that it means just one more day that Jacob Leonard's going to be with KOAM. We've been telling you that he's leaving to pursue another opportunity, and we are going to miss him. Tomorrow, you're going to get a chance to help us say goodbye more properly, informally, and fully when we air an interview. Want to tell a little bit about what we did with that?
Yeah, you and I sat down here in the studio for a little bit and kind of talked about my time here and starting it as a news reporter, which I don't think I was particularly good at. And so yeah, we have some video of me being not particularly good at that. So we'll look back at some favorite memories, out in the field, here in the studio. So give us a proper goodbye right here tomorrow night.
Yeah, that'll be tomorrow at 6, 9, and 10. Don't forget the morning show at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.